Hello guys, and welcome to another Revised in 5 with me, Mr. Schmalish. So today we're looking at 2.2 market research, quantitative versus qualitative data. I'll just get rid of that for you. So I will start my timer and we'll go over it now. So give me a second. So, excellent. Right, so what is qualitative data? It's basically primarily exploratory research. It's used to gain an understanding of underlying reasons, opinions, and motivations. It provides a sort of much richer data. This is the type of data that most businesses would use, but it's hard to get and hard to analyze. But we'll look at that when we talk about advantages and disadvantages. Quantitative data is used to quantify the problem by way of generating numerical data or data that can be transformed into usable statistics, which allow it to be analyzed much easier. Okay, so an easy way of remembering qualitative data is open-ended questions, opinions, and reasons. Easy way to remember quantitative data is numbers, basically, and close-ended questions. So here are some quantitative and qualitative questions. So the first one, how many chocolate bars do you eat a week? It's quantitative because you can measure it. It could be at 0, 100, 200, so on and so forth, but there will be a definitive answer. How much do you spend on chocolate bars a week? Same thing, you can measure it. There's a definitive answer. How does eating chocolate make you feel? That's qualitative because you can have a whole variety of answers here, and it'll be hard to actually compare two answers because they could be so different. What is your favorite genre of film? They can have hundreds and hundreds of genres of film, but again, it is quantitative because you can measure it. How many films do you watch a week? Again, quantitative because you can measure it quite easily. What do you think about the latest Disney live action film Aladdin? Again, this is qualitative. Okay, so one person's opinion might be wildly different to the other person's opinion, making analysis of that quite difficult. Okay, so quantitative data, the advantages and disadvantages are it's easy to analyze the data. It's numbers. Okay, yes, no answer, numbers. Easy to count the responses and easy to measure because you can use bar graphs to see any trends. It also allows for large sample sizes to be analysed because it's easy to analyse the data, because you can ask these questions to a large sample. It provides a lot of validity to your findings, which means a lot of sort of weight and reliability. A disadvantage, though, is it doesn't address underlying causes. So go look at those questions before. Just because you find out how many chocolate bars someone eats, you don't know why they would eat it. Okay, so if you're making a product, you would know exactly why they would buy your product. So you might not be able to tailor your product to their needs specifically. The data must also stand on its own, which means that you can't check for feedback. If the person misunderstands the question, they'll just tick the box yes, no, whatever the answer is, and they can't provide any feedback on why they answered that question that way. But with qualitative data, you can. So moving on to qualitative data. Okay, so going back, sorry, the picture represents surveys and questionnaires. They tend to be quite quantitative in data. So qualitative data provides rich data, as I mentioned before. Rich data means it addresses the underlying causes, looks for motivations. The data here is very, very good. It's what most companies look for. It also saves money because you're asking a smaller sample size. So you're not asking hundreds of thousands of people. You're probably asking maybe 5 to 10, because it's actually time consuming to ask these rich, open-ended questions. Disadvantages are it's hard to analyze because you can get one response could be totally different to another response. So it's really hard to compare. Okay, and it depends on the skill of the researcher really. If they don't have the skill to analyze it, then the findings will not make any sense, and then it'll be hard for you to tailor a product to meet those needs. And again, you've got smaller sample sizes, so it might not apply to larger populations. So if you're only measuring 5 people, it might be their opinions might be totally different to their general population, so it might not be very valid. Okay, so hopefully you've understood that. I've gone through it quite quickly, and I am running out of time, so you'll probably hear the timer go up now. So excellent, fantastic.